Okay, so we on this Reason 5, do a little, I guess, a couple of tutorials on how-tos and things you might not know or might already know. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure your setup is, or your layout, or whatever you want to call it, is the way you want it, which is your mixer, your inputs, and all the stuff to make it so you can play. Because if you don't have a mixer up there and you start putting sounds in, it's only going to play for one track. Believe me, I've done it, got in to try to putting sounds in and wonder why I didn't hear nothing, and had to do the thing all over. Because if you don't put the mixer in, guess what? Because it has an automatic little wire thing, it wires up everything for you. And if you don't know how to wire everything up in the back, which you can flip it over by pressing tab and see all the back with the wires and everything. And if you don't know how to put it where on the tracks where it's supposed to go, you ain't gonna get no sounds from them devices that you put in.
That's called patching.
So what you want to do is, like I said, you want to go into this preferences and go into it's gonna start out in built-in rack, which is the as soon as you get Reasons, that's what it's set on to, how they little stock default. And usually the mixer, sometimes it's up there, sometimes it's not. But when mine was installed, the mixer wasn't there. So what I did was I went to the I added the mixer in, and then I saved it as my default start. I call it default start, so I know where it is. And you have to once you save it, you go back into preferences, and you go down to custom. This little blue thing writing that says default song has first thing is empty rack, built-in, or custom. So I go to custom, and I go to the little tab onto the side, and I open the folder up, and I go down to where it says default start. Click on the default start. And now it's going to be set every time I open up Reasons. Every single time it's going to be set just the way I saved it as. And so the first thing you also might want to do, you want to come down to here where it says click, pre-count, quantize, and loop. I turn all these things on. Click so I can hear my timing. Pre-count so it'll give me a 4-beat count for when it starts. And my quantize, keep everything in line on beat, unless you want to have some kind of realism to it, and put the loop on so it won't go past your little measurements up at the top. Forget what these little
those are markers. So what you do, Oliver, you pretty much just so you can when you make just making a beat, just kind of messing around. You always kind of set it up that way you can loop and add parts and things like that. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And he also uses a MIDI controller so he can play live. I know he's using the Kong today. If you use Redrum, you can, I guess, do it it's a step sequencer, so you can just put the steps in. I used to use it on Reason 3, so I kind of know what he's talking about. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, well, actually, I'll show a little bit of both of that. I'll show some of the little new features on the Kong, and I'll show the other way on the Redrum. So for people that don't know or confused or anything. So the BPM's down here, and it usually starts out, or BPM, or some people know it's tempo, didn't know it's called BPM, which is beats per minute. And you go down to here, and I usually start at 100. That's just my start. That's like in a medium. It's not too fast. It's not too slow, at least for me. So then I go up here to where the sounds are, is in Create, and they have all the little plug-in things and patches that you need. So what I'm gonna start with, I'll start with the Redrum first, which everyone's used to, which is they got the step sequencer and so forth. So first thing comes up, bass drum is the first one. It's in disco. It has some cool sounds, but I like to find my own. So I go up to the little file folder and say I want to look for a certain kick. That's in the it's in the as soon as you pull it up, all the little instruments that's already lined up, it's already there. But I usually just go up here and type it in. Type in the little top right corner, it says search for, and I type in kick. Then go to find. And it's going to pull up all the kicks. Oh, forget it. Forgot to go down to the Reason factory sound bank. Now go to find and just pull everything up that can be used on the Redrum.
And of course, you can use your own samples. I know when I used to use Reason all the time, I used to use my own samples as well as the default samples.
Right. Same way. Just pull it up and wherever you have it saved, and it'll come up. They have some of the same ones that are in the new Kong. They're also in here in Redrum. So say I use something like this, some old weird sound. I can either play it, or I can step note it. And let's see. I just clicked on a few things. See what it come up. So that's it gives you 16 steps. So what you also might want to do, so like you want something to do different, you want it to sound a little bit differently. You go up to here, you can add some more steps in, and now it's gonna get quiet until I play it. Well, actually I gotta go up to the steps and turn it up to the highest, which is 30. Well, it's not the highest, it's 32 because I want 32 steps. So it's gonna play that, it's gonna go blank because it's only 16 that are blank. So see what it does. Got a little change to it.
Come on. I like that.
So now I got that in, and say like
add a ride or something.
Okay, I'm gonna add a ride to that. Pull up another redrum, and do the same thing. I can start with the first one. Make sure I got my Reson factory up there. And I type in ride.
Or hi-hat.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Actually, yeah, I'll type in hi-hat. Oh, gotta always remember to push that Reson factor, or nothing gonna come up. You're gonna be like, what's going on? Like I just did. So,
hey, put it on 1:30 seconds. Yeah, that's what it does. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can make sure I got the run.
All right, do this. All right, spread it out now. I want to see what it sounds like. Okay. That's a good thing about Redrum. You can change these Redrum. You can program your beats all kinds of ways.
And you can, if you don't like the pitch, the tone, you want to change. You want to sound a little more.
Put a little clap in that, and we can call it on this one.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Rewind it back.
Why did it do that? Why did it?
That's kind of cool right there. Nice little even tone.
Okay. Why is it setting itself like that? Okay, let's get into the oh yeah, we want to put that clap in. Do it all in Redrum. Go back into that folder. Make sure you got the Reson factory up there and type in clap. That ain't gonna work. You ain't spelled it right. Let's say like I use that. Okay. Now you don't really hear it. First of all,
always turn it up on the mixer.
oh yeah, you can also make it hit harder.
There it is. As we know. Alright. Little simple Redrum. Making a beat on a Redrum in Reson 5. Alright. Our next one is going to be making a beat on Kong. A basic beat in Reson 5. Check it out.